What up, players? It's Tay up in his mug. Welcome to my week 3 video. This is for the days of October 21st to the 28th of the Tay 2016 Spookytoberfest challenge. And here's my progress. We did base coats and shading for this Tyrannid exocrine, and it is so much fun. So what I did was I spray painted him with, it's a color similar to Games Workshop's Mephiston Red. I think it's an army painter color called Dragon Red or something, but it's a really good primer, colored primer. It comes on easily, and it covers real smooth, and yeah, I really like it a lot. I painted the armor plates next with Inky by Darkness. All the claws, razors, scything talons kind of things I did with Abaddon Black, just to give a grounding dark neutral color. And then the head cannon I painted with Screamer Pink. So the next thing I did was I thought, okay, I've used Agrax Earthshade before, but I've also used, to really great effect, the combination, the winning combination of Dryad Bark, or Rhinox Hide, not Dryad Bark, Rhinox Hide and Lamian Medium, or any painter's medium, but I like Lamian because it's Citadel color, and I can get it with all the rest of my Citadel Games Workshop paint. So the way I use this is I have my wet palette, right, or my plastic tray, or you could use parchment paper or any kind of palette, and I just put a bunch of Rhinox Hide using an old brush, because you're going to be using a lot and you're going to be mixing, so you don't want to use one of your good brushes. Use a big brush that can hold a lot. Scoop out a bunch and just put it on your wet palette or whatever. And then you wash off your brush. You gotta make sure there's no Rhinox Hide on your bristles, because your Lamian medium, you want it to stay pure, you know, for the next color you want to make into a glaze. Then simply enough, you load up your brush with Lamian medium, you mix it. I kind of go at a 1-to-1 solution, even amounts of Rhinox Hide and Lamian medium, but you could also do a little bit more Lamian medium to really thin down the color. I wouldn't do more paint than medium, just because you want your medium to make the paint color as thin and as spread out as possible, so when it goes on almost as a glaze. And you can see with the Inky by Darkness, the plates, it went on really, really well. It didn't change the color, which Agrax Earthshade sometimes makes the base coats a little too dark. It just really found the natural nooks and crannies and filled them in. It looked so good. And I just used it everywhere. The whole thing I just washed with Rhinox Hide. And the only thing I didn't wash was the head cannon, which I used Drukai Violet. Yeah, so the combination of a very rich purple shade to a reddish, pinkish purple color that the cannon was creates a very, very cool looking bruised, alive, organic finish, which is going to look terrific, especially once I start coloring in these little eyeballs and these horn things and everything else. This thing is going to look so cool. I'm thinking of like putting some Nurgle's Rot dripping down the sides, like the whatever bioplasma that comes shooting out of this thing. And oh, one more thing, I did a Rackard Flesh on the teeth before the shade, so that's why the teeth are a little bit shaded and muddy. So everything is gonna get highlighted now. I've already started highlighting the red back with Mephiston Red. Gonna use Evil Sun Scarlet, and then we get creative with the Ungor Flesh, which is a really cool color too, and not cool like blue, but a very interesting color to paint on red. It makes your reds look a lot more organic, and my chair is so squeaky. It makes the reds look a lot more alive and organic. And the plates are going to get colored again with Inky by Darkness, and then I'm going to highlight the edges first with Dawnstone and then Karak Stone. So you're going to get a little bit of gray, and then you're going to get a little bit of a light brown just on the edges and the parts that the light is going to highlight. And by doing that, what I'm hoping to do is create a rich, warm looking color scheme that's going to tie all of the colors together. The light browns and the beiges of the highlight colors are really going to make these monsters seem more, I think, alive. Because when you see some of these monsters with the Hive Fleet Behemoth color scheme, you see the red skin, but a lot of times you see black plates. And they highlight up the black with blue, like Cantor blue and then Temple Guard blue, make it look really cold and icy. And what I wanted to do with these Tyranid creatures, especially if you go back to my earlier Tyranid videos, like the all of the other commissions I've done, this is for the same client, so they're going to be very consistent, tied together throughout all of the models that I'm painting for him. Then you'll see that the finished colors really match, even though you think, like, why would I paint Ungor Flesh, which is like a very yellow color, to highlight the red? Or why would I paint Carrick Stone, which is a brown color, to highlight the plates? Believe me, it once it's on, it'll make a lot more sense. So that's him in a nutshell, in a Tyranid shell. And let's answer the day 21 through 28, the weekly question from my War Boss Tay 2016 Spookytoberfest challenge. So last week I did the literary fiction. This time, this video around, I'm going to go for the TV. I think it's called Spooky Transmissions. And hey, if you have not seen this show yet, it's on Netflix. It's from the UK. It's called Black Mirror. And it is unbelievable. I thought, when my brother told me you have to watch it, it's like science fiction, horror, I was like, what? I don't really understand. And it's kind of a, you know, you're either going to really like it and really get into it, or you might be a little turned off by it. But the simplest way to describe it is like horror stories where there are no ghosts or aliens or supernatural monsters or creatures from beyond. It's the technology that we create, making our lives, hopefully to make our lives better, they turn up having these horrific consequences. And some of these stories are heartbreaking. Some of them are just terrifying. The second episode, if you guys have Netflix, please check out the episode. I think it's the second one in the series. It's called Playtest. It's season 3, episode 2. It stuck with me for days after, and I kept thinking about the story and how well it was told. And I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but please check out the series. They've got some great stars in it. That Bryce Dallas Howard, Ron Howard's daughter, and not Ron Howard. Is that the director? Yeah, Ron Howard, the guy from Happy Days, and Domhnall Gleeson, who's blowing up. He was in Star Wars: The Force Awakens, among a whole bunch of other movies that I really liked him in. And you've got some lesser-known stars that are really, really good. So please check it out. I think it's the best Netflix original show I've seen since maybe House of Cards. I can't think of a Netflix original show that I like more than Black Mirror right now. So check it out. They're in their 3rd season, and they're on Netflix. You guys in the UK, you guys can make some really good horror. Really, really good. Very... my hat's off to you guys. Anyway, that's enough for this video. I hope you guys are doing well. You can check me out on Patreon, where I'm putting up my 31 Days of Spookytoberfest videos as well. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.